Hello and welcome to episode 3 of a 12-pod plan to improve Irish happiness. I am Arun Sharma, so I am the author of the book 12-Point Plan to Improve Irish Happiness. And I decided to do a pod along with my co-host Simon on the idea that I can dig into the poems and talk about some of the themes and how they relate to growing up in the north of Ireland during the Troubles. So, Simon, over to you. How you been?
Not too bad. It's been a nice couple of weeks since the last pod. Haven't been up to that much, but just keeping an eye on the latest developments.
Drinking lots of coffee?
A little too much coffee. You will see that regularly as we go through the day. But hasn't been that much happening. Just keeping an eye on the geopolitical movements across the globe and
all those big events.
What shate's been happening this week?
The big shite.
What big shates has been happening this week? Yeah. What about you?
I went to see Lynch from Lancome, his side project. One Leg, One Eye, Strange Brew in Bristol.
Nice.
Drone, phenomenal. It was just phenomenal, mind-opening kind of wash of sonic beautiful beauty. It was something else. I would highly recommend everyone go check them out.
And Strange Brew, one of the finest establishments in Bristol.
You know what? It's Bristol's. We talk about. I think we spoke about Bristol's poetry scene a couple episodes back, and I don't think it needs to be said, but the number of venues in Bristol, the music scene is so healthy, and I'd love to think it's just as healthy in other towns and cities around the country. And I know it's not. Yeah. But I feel very blessed, and I know the boys feel very blessed that they're growing up in these circumstances where they can go and see phenomenal music.
Yeah.
Left, right, centre.
We are lucky.
God's country.
If there's no other place to be if you're not at home.
What does that mean?
I don't know. Carry on. Shall we pick a number?
Right. Have you brought your number generator with you?
Oh, yes.
Oh, thank God.
Hang on.
Thank God.
Hang on. Give me a minute.
This is so weird. I can't watch. I don't want to watch. Generation 3. Okay, let's dip. 3 is okay. This is going to be, if one of us isn't crying by the end of this. So, A Black and Endless Light.
Okay.
This was the poem that I wrote about a good friend of ours. Whenever he had 16, he unfortunately took a decision to take his own life. Goshal, and he was in a relationship with lovely, gorgeous Irish girl, but being from Indian heritage, his mum and dad were very strict, and they wanted him to not to have a relationship with an Irish girl, but instead to prepare himself for marriage to an Indian girl, a Hindu girl.
Yeah.
And as a result, his home life was violent, and he suffered at the hands, and took that decision then to do something drastic. So you knew Kaushal obviously as well. What are your memories of him?
Like, you kind of talk about people who have just got something about them that shines like ridiculously bright. Like, I used to come into you and Kaushal were the year above me, and I'd come into school and just go, oh fuck, I want to be there. I want to be there. Look at them, because he was like one of the most like beautiful, open souls that I've ever met, and just like lit up every room that he was ever in, and
He was incredibly open.
yeah,
It was an impossible guy to ignore, an impossible guy to dislike. We had some of the hardened, even some of the hardened loyalists, in the year, our year, the year above, were very warm to him, and he was just a lovely. He would draw you in, and had lots of reasons to love the guy.
yeah,
Um, I think my background with him, like whenever my parents moved to the North Ireland in early 70s,
mm-hmm.
and his parents had done the same around the same time. And there, in the first instance, we didn't have somewhere to live
Mm-hmm.
originally, and we found this place. I can't remember if we were housed there or
Mm-hmm.
whether we found the place ourselves. But we lived downstairs, and his family lived upstairs.
Really?
It was just at the bottom of the Garbachy Road.
Yeah.
A very interesting time and place geographically, because it was around the time the Troubles really picked up speed.
Yeah.
And that particular point in Portadown at the bottom of Garbachy Road, where it meets the town centre, became a flashpoint.
Mm-hmm.
And they eventually put up peace walls on the evenings. But during those days before the peace wall went up, the houses at the bottom of Garbachy Road were just being bricked and pepper bombed, and there were spates of masked intruders forcing families out, both Catholic and Protestant.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was a terrible state of affair. Partition, if you want to
Yeah.
think of it like that.
Yeah.
And the houses to this day, those houses in Portadown are still bricked up and boarded up, and the ruins have been left. Often, I think it's our little bit of history, a bit like
Mm-hmm.
the Berlin Wall, where you go and see this wall. It was just horrendous, and it now houses a load of art. But I think the one in Portadown, if it housed art, instead of having to, old Soviet era, leaders kissing each other, it's probably
Yeah.
got somebody's ma getting finger banged, down by the ban or something like that. But
or just smell your man.
yeah, absolutely. Not as classy as the Berlin
No.
equivalent.
No, but
that's where Costa and I grew up together initially, and then whenever the violence got too much, both families said, well, this is no place to bring up your kids.
Yeah.
And Costa went one way, we moved out another way into the countryside. But stayed really close friends, small Indian community.
Yeah.
So it was always going to be inevitable that we see each other very, very regularly.
Yeah.
So we didn't have cousins, really. We had some distant cousins nearby, but I think he would have been the closest thing to a cousin, I guess, for us.
Yeah. Do you want to go for it?
All right. A black and endless light, coiled tighter than a caged hawk, suddenly unleashed on his own feathered frailty, anger made of glass, that would in time prove shatterproof, but imploding then on his way to the railway track. Taunted by the bottle at his lips, a burst of transparent flame scorched his mouth, but Jesus must have tasted good. The passive provider, bewildered by the face of the boy who would end the day with none. And at that hour, the coil finally sprung, corrupted into vile process, and staring into the face of it, juggernaut, avalanche of metal, concealing a recital of pokers and fists and whips, wisped away fantasies of ordinary childhood, any shred of hope severed. Now, his fire-charred tongue smacked out, lolling by that foxed jaw, body found, and wrapped away like a gift of a Venetian puppet, allowing us to come then like Mecca, and we came, circling our homage, too late. But for the lie of tears crashing like waves on the landing, where one would soon hang their head in shame. So, I suppose to point out some of the events. So he had another, shall we say, run-in with his mum, dad at home. He, in tears, left the house. He went off wandering late. It's quite late at night. He obviously made the decision to do this, and his decision was to jump in front of a train. So on the way to the track, there were a couple of boys drinking vodka, and he asked for a swig, and the boys give it to him. So he took a couple of mouthfuls, thanked them. They remembered him thanking them, and then he went on. And I think the train was something like 3 minutes past 11 at night. Train from Belfast to Portadown was the one he jumped in front of, and then I think it was possibly the next morning, early in the morning, that the phone went off, maybe 5 o'clock, and somebody had phoned through with the news, that he had killed himself. And then it was at that point that a couple of things came back to me. His partner, his girlfriend, had phoned at maybe 9 o'clock asking if I knew where he was.
Yeah.
I didn't. I was just at home, so I thought nothing of it. She seemed upset. She was upset, but I think she was probably upset. He must have said a goodbye, which didn't seem right, I'm guessing, and before he went off.
Yeah.
And then we got to the point where I think it was time to go for the bus for school, and I said to my mum, I can't obviously go,
Yeah.
and I was in bits, and my mother forced me to go. She said he was a bad boy, for committing suicide. Look what he's done to his mum and dad, and she took that stance.
Yeah.
And I said, look, I can't go, but she forced me to go, made me go. But yeah, it was just a horrendous, probably the worst, school day you can imagine. But it was years later, referencing the poem there. We went to the funeral. His body was wrapped up because obviously after the injuries were so horrific, he couldn't be seen.
Yeah.
And his mum was inconsolable, just sitting, eyes shut, just streaming tears constantly, and it's very difficult knowing, what I knew that she had been doing to him.
Yeah.
And his dad. But when I met his dad, he gave me the biggest hug I think I've ever had, ever, to this day. And every tear, you could just see the guilt. And he knew, with eyes locked, and he knew what he had done and what he had affected.
Yeah.
And it maybe came as no surprise that he then committed suicide in the landing. He hung himself about a year later, or thereabouts.
I don't think I knew that. I must have known that.
But yeah, well, the thing is, I suppose, the brothers, again, 3 amazing guys, had gone, I suppose, their separate ways as well. It wasn't long after, I suppose, that they moved out themselves, and I think when you're left, with your own demise at home, looking in the mirror every day,
Yeah.
perhaps. But I mean,
Yeah. It's yeah. Yeah.
suicides in the north of Ireland, I think, were, as I remember it, seemed to be quite common after him and Alice. Do you remember Alice? She was a young girl who shot herself with a policeman's gun,
Right.
which I think we'll talk about another time, perhaps. But it just seemed to be there seemed to be a lot of suicide,
Yeah.
which seemed disproportionate, perhaps. But I suppose I had nothing to measure it with.
No, but I think it's like it has to be symptomatic of the cultural feel at the time, and then like you, I suppose like it does it. Maybe this isn't always the case, but it's like you have to feel like you have got no other choice or no other control mechanism because yeah, I don't know. You kind of think if Korshel had not done that, like what life would have looked like for him even 2 years later,
And his
or
partner, of course, as well,
yeah,
who was left. I mean, you saw what she was like afterwards. It was devastating, life changing, absolutely life
yeah,
changing
yeah,
for her.
yeah,
Um, so I don't know. I don't know if there's any kind of answer that was available, any outlet that was available then. But today, in terms of mental health,
mm,
there does seem to be more
mm,
in terms of a hopeful outlet. You would like to think that young people in a position today of any making
mm,
would have a route out.
mm. But like, was that because I think even amongst like school friends, there was this like it wasn't the common belief, but it was like that it was a selfishness, like it was a selfish act, like, and I it's like fuck off, because I don't like, I think it's almost easy to say that it's that's just selfish.
For anyone in their normal what is normal state of mind, but you know, an average state of mind, it would be absolutely abhorrent and unbelievable to think that you could ever be in a position where you would do that to yourself, which should tell people that for to do that, you're
Mm,
not in your
mm,
a typical state of mind.
mm,
This is you know, somebody who has degenerated um, in terms of their logic and their thinking and their
mm,
processes to get to that point. Perhaps I don't know
mm,
to get to this point.
mm,
And that it's surely as somebody's mental health route changes,
mm.
there would be warning signs. And how do we make people more aware of what the warning signs are?
Yeah,
And
but I think you're right though. Like but I think it's easier now to say possibly easier now to say that you're struggling or that you need some kind of support because like mental health wasn't like we talked about this in the last episode. It's like if you were mentally unwell, the only option open to you was
oh
ETU
Jesus, ETU.
and possibly ECT. And it's like fuck no, because I remember being and I think this is probably post Corshall dying, but I
Yeah,
remember being feeling incredibly unwell, like and and the doctor coming out. So I was in bed, right? I can vividly remember this. I must have been 15. Vividly remember lying in my bed, clinging on to my quilt like that, like as tight as I could, like, and my mum got the doctor out because she didn't know what to do. So our local GP, Jerry Adams,
That was his name.
it was his name.
Fuck off.
Not that Jerry Adams.
He wasn't called Jerry
Dr.
Adams.
Jerry Adams. Lovely man. Lovely man.
Did he get much work? How many attempts on his life had he suffered?
Like weirdly, like always had this weird like voiceover that came around with it. You're not very well, son.
A little English man had to follow him around speaking for him.
But it's like the choice was, like I'll give you a diazepam and see how you are in a couple of days, or you can go to ECT, but I'll go to ETU, but I don't think that's going to be the thing. It's okay, I'll be all right, sure. Don't worry about it. Give me a couple of days there.
You jumped out of bed and did a marathon. I'm better.
But I think that's the thing. Like, so there's, and obviously, like you can kind of look at it today. We would kind of go, well, clearly, like I said, that's a reactive episode to something that's happened.
Yeah.
Like, but I did like it. Yeah. And I think that's the thing. It's like imagine because you're 16, you kind of think nothing's ever going to change, and it didn't feel like things could change in Northern Ireland in those days. I don't know. It felt like, yeah, things were brutally stuck.
But it changed for you. It changed for you, I think, years later. Like you, maybe moving to another country, effectively, allowed you to
brackets, the mainland.
from the mainland.
Oh yeah, sorry, from the mainland
to this foreign country.
Yeah.
To maybe recognize what was staring you in the face back then, but. Okay. Are we generating another number then?
Yes, but I suppose what a guy.
I think about him a lot. I do. I really do. But
because I don't know whether I've ever played it to you, and I don't even know whether I can find a copy of it. But like I wrote a song about it, about him, about Korsho, and yeah, I'll dig it out and share it with you. I think yeah.
Do that. I remember you saying you had at the time.
Yeah.
I think I did as well. I actually wrote a song with Beyond the Silence, it was called. Yeah, I didn't play it to anyone, but obviously years later I've written this.
Yeah.
Right. Pump it up.
Right.
Pump it up. I'm not going to watch because it makes me feel a bit sick. I'll be perfectly honest. It's kind of disgusting. Pornographic.
The next episode, I'm going to create a new thing.
Is it the dice?
We're going for no, 90.
Okay, so we've gone from a really grim, heartfelt poem about loss to a really grim, heartfelt poem about loss. Which great. So
the loss episode.
Yeah, this is absolutely not planned. So this is a poem called "I Go See Roisin on Tuesdays," and it was loosely based on a friend of a friend, somebody I was introduced to, that I went to see, funnily enough, a couple of times after I met them, and they had lost, I think it was two or three family members, close family members, in the Troubles. So her dad was shot by loyalists in Portadown, old Craigavon, and a son, her brother, was killed in an ambush at I think it was a bar. No, I was going to say a bar in Points Pass, but he was killed in ambush anyway, and
Right.
just outside in South Armagh, I think it was. So she had lost close family members, and it was dripping from her. This grief was just dripping from her, and possibly the reason why I didn't go back and see her again is just is that uncomfortable truth, that no matter how much time you spent with her, that you couldn't tap in. You couldn't crack the outer shell and tap in to
Yeah.
her because she was engrossed in grief. And the number of people who I think over the years possibly come across that were in the same position. You saw a very slim glimmer of their personality externally, but everything else was internalized. Everything.
Well,
Sorry.
Well, it's that depth of grief and trauma goes beyond words. Like, I think that's the thing that I've learnt. I think, if anything, over the years is like,
Oh, don't say something miserable. This is this is so miserable. Oh God.
Anyway, read the poem.
I go see Roisin on Tuesdays. You'd see the light from the twitching curtain before you'd see the twitching curtain. Then the knock on the door, one loud one, pause, another, ended with a swift couplet. A, B, C, C. A policeman's knock, she called it. And the door wrenched open with the impressive rapidity of one stung. Then the hug. Never quite pulled in, more schlepped, never lingering, eyes wide on that open door. Concluded with a numb palm caressing my autumnal cheek. Door returned to closure, her head leaning in for a fat fraction, and then long breath out. Turn, smile. Always this way on Tuesdays. You see, Mondays are no good, as she has her appointment, and Thursday she takes a turn round the gardens where they always came together, back in the day. In fact, where they took that polished photo quilted on the dusty mantle. Fridays she's always out, and Saturday she'll be weeping in the chapel. Sunday she's somewhere else or somewhere else. Wednesday she visits the graves. But Tuesday, dry hands smacking the hole in her chest, tears never filling that empty well here at home, the home where the knock at the door came back then, and she just doesn't want to be here, just doesn't want to be here. Sadness.
Yeah.
Sadness on top of sadness on top of sadness.
Deep wells of it, and like I consider myself to be lucky in that didn't experience the depth of sadness that some people did with deaths, but like you just said, Roisin had two deaths in the family, and there's so many other people that have experienced like multiple.
Well, we're talking about what
layers of that.
In terms of casualties, or over 3,000 people killed over 3 decades. That would have been. And then you're talking about your family, the family members, the neighbors, the friends,
ripples,
the children, everyone involved. And we said before, you're only ever, one step away from knowing somebody who's lost somebody and was in that position, and you couldn't turn around. You couldn't turn around back home for stories like this about how somebody had lost somebody and how somebody had been shot or bombed or ended up in hospital and lost a leg, whatever it was. And I keep going back to generational trauma and shared trauma, but it shaped everyone.
Yeah.
Even people would not necessarily want to admit it, but
yeah. Well, and I think it's because there is the direct impact of the violence of the Troubles, then there is the ripples of that violence across families and people and communities, and then there's all the other stuff that goes alongside it that couldn't maybe not be directly attributed to the Troubles, but people's way of being, like the anxiety of going out, or the worry about where you're going, or not letting, like, because I remember, like, I used to look at some people when I was growing up and going, they've been allowed down to town. They're only 13. Like, you're not going anywhere till you're 25. And like, but all of this, like all of the cultural stuff, and like all it's like, and then I don't know. Like, I think there's a significant amounts of like repression and all the other stuff that kind of doesn't necessarily get talked about, because like because I kind of think you can see like some of the very visibly some of the devastating impact, but then an awful lot of it is just insidious and just underneath the surface,
and it's still there today. And it's still there today. I mean, we're talking about people who were young in the 70s and 80s, and 90s. It was to some degree that there wasn't a huge amount of difference, maybe, between the decades in terms of the levels of violence, depravity that armed men and women were going to at the time. And we're not even talking about paramilitaries. Even I think in domestic violence and violence amongst children, inter-teen violence was commonplace. It was casual.
Massive.
It was casual. I mean, the term casual violence is used in places and cities where people grow up and become accustomed to violence, and that was it. It was not uncommon for someone to get a slap for the littlest of things. It was not uncommon to see a fight breaking out for the tiniest of offences, and nobody batted an eyelid. People would move away, and people would say, "Oh, I don't want to be involved," but nobody's surprised by it. No one's shocked by it. And considering we went to a relatively nice middle class school, Portadown College, the number of incidents there were where casual violence was just every day, hand in hand with going to RE classes and going to assembly in the morning where you sing hymns, and it was,
but that, like, so some of the worst. I will not name names, but some of the worst bullying that I ever had was at Sunday school.
Sunday school,
like repeated, like on a weekly basis. Like, there's these two brothers, like one would just hold me and the other have digs, like, and but I don't think there's no, I don't know, like, God knows, like what those two lads were experiencing at home that made them feel like that was an appropriate thing to do in the Lord's house. But it's like what goes through people's heads. But I remember vividly, like one day there was again, won't name names, but there's like one this is in a church, and
name a wee name, just their first name.
No. But like,
and then there's
the family would have been heavily involved in loyalist paramilitaries,
right.
And to this day, I still don't know like why I did this, right? So imagine this scene like in an old church hall, like everybody's just sat in rows, like youth group type thing, right? I don't know why, but I just walked past this lad, punched him in the face. Don't know why. Don't know why. Like he was as shocked as I was. and 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 then he just went, if you ever do that again, I won't. I won't. I promise. I don't know why I did it. I'm really sorry. It's like what? Like, but you're right. It was casual, and it was not necessarily well thought out or planned, but it was very real.
Do you have bad thoughts now as a result, do you think?
I think I probably would have done historically. I think.
Yeah.
And it would have been this thing like I remember like this is like when I was like a good few years ago, but I'd be like, oh, if I went mad and went for it, I don't know whether I'd be able to stop myself from. But you know that's what you go to therapy for. But that would have been like in my 20s, like coming out
Yeah,
of.
sure.
Because I was probably I carried quite a lot of anger about with me. I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. Did you?
Well, I mean, I think to an extent, yeah.
Mm.
I went, I remember in, in Tandragee, running up behind somebody who I was on friendly terms with,
Mm-hmm.
and he, I think he was on crutches at the time because he had been a bad boy.
Right.
And he swung his crutch and caught me round the neck,
Right.
and I went flying. And then he saw who it was, and he was like, "Oh, sorry, swing first, ask questions later." And I
Wow.
think that's generally that was a thing. If somebody approached you that you didn't know, you swung first and asked questions later, just in case. And it is something that I would say I I wouldn't say I swing at anyone. I don't, but that mentality definitely stuck with me.
Yeah.
Um,
But like today we would say that we're in our like fight or flight mode like constantly.
and it was constant.
Yeah.
It was constant. You didn't know if you were with Catholics. You didn't know if the people watching you were Catholic or Protestant, so you're on edge the whole time.
Yeah.
And vice versa if you're with Protestants, and it was always. And that's why I think the music scene was amazing.
Yeah.
Because if you were dressed like a punk or a thrasher or a metal kid or whatever, or a goth or whatever the hell you were, people generally, well, they beat you up. But not for sectarian reasons.
Exactly.
It was a shit t-shirt. You got fucking paint mohawk or whatever.
But it was a very visible sign that you like I'm not. I'm neither. Like I am into music. Like and that's it. Like and that was still one of the deep joys of going down Portdown Market and looking at the
patches.
Look at the patches and the t-shirts.
Patches and t-shirts. Brilliant.
But yeah.
And to this day, they still talk about it. And I said before about the rave culture brought people together, people who would have been at each other's throats, and people who had previously done each other harm. Swallowed a couple of yolks, and next thing you know, they're hugging it out on the dance floor. And I think that's what frightened the crap out of the military command for probably both the loyalists, mainly the loyalists, but both the loyalists and the nationalist organizations were a bit worried about that. But music scene was always integrated. Pretty much everywhere I went. And with yourself, when you're playing in bands from a young age, you could end up playing anywhere. We played a gig up in Cumber, I want to say, or it might have been Bangor actually. It was a Bangor. I can't remember the name of the venue, and I remember met so many metalheads up there.
Yeah.
And I thought Bangor was a predominantly kind of, I believe it is Protestant town.
Yeah.
But met so many both Catholic and Protestant metal fans up there who come out just to see music, and it was one of those defining gigs where you think, oh yeah, people don't actually care,
Exactly,
the right people just don't care.
Yeah, but music was definitely the route out. Like I think it was, yeah. I suppose it because it.
What was your route? You're out.
Yeah, but not like, but nothing,
Right.
but nothing. Because I just remember back in the day in Portadown, like probably like 92, 93, and there'd just be a gang of people who clearly weren't dressed like like either side, and it was just music, and it was just like, right, you could walk into Caroline Music in Portadown and just see a whole load of like-minded people, and yeah.
Hit Records, come on, you have to mention Hit Records. Johnny It.
Come on, Johnny. Like some
big man.
Is it like, is he still alive?
You know what? Last I heard, he was. But I made inquiries about 10 years ago. He was living out in somewhere near Craigavon Area Hospital, funny enough.
Right.
In over there. But it was that yellow. He was on the rollies, wasn't he? Constantly, just that yellow ring around his massive beard. So interesting, a man. Introduced me to so much music.
But like a living algorithm. Like, so like, he would just need a few examples of the things that you like, and then every time you went in, listen to that here.
Thoughtful guy, really thoughtful guy.
Yeah.
I'd be sad if I never saw him again. Maybe one day.
Yeah. But that was some. I remember going in and was there a live Iron Maiden album called Live Evil, or was that a Metallica album?
It wasn't Metallica.
No,
probably was Live Evil. I was Live After Death. Anyway.
Yeah, I remember taking that home. My dad wasn't happy. Get that muck out of the house.
Undone all the good work Sunday school, all those beatings you took in Sunday school, only to be undone by this.
Or is it? Yeah, is either that or sitting upstairs in my room listening to Appetite for Destruction and just tearing up Mr. Brownstone at the opportune moment. Oh no, man, he's a real mother. Gonna kick him on down the lane.
What was that?
Nothing. Don't worry about it. Good times. Good times.
Right. In terms of good times, we've had a great time.
We've had a great time.
We've had a fantastic time. And we're going to have a good time next time as well.
Oh.
And
what number is it going to be next time?
Oh, God. I'm going to buy you one of these D&D number generator. I can't watch you doing that anymore. It makes me feel sick. Honestly, I think I'm going to be sick.
Okay. Sorry about that.
All right.
I could do it topless.
Time to go.
Okay.
See you guys next time. Like and subscribe if you're interested. No pressure, and we look forward to seeing you guys next time.
All right. Love you.
Bye.